In 2018, Blade and Sorcery was just another indie VR game, but it quickly grew into one of the most influential titles in the VR landscape. Today, we're taking a trip down memory lane to explore its humble beginnings, its transformation, and how it became the powerhouse of VR combat that it is now. Back in its early days, Blade and Sorcery was far from the polished experience we know today. In fact, the build was incredibly basic. Clunky controls, simple physics, and only a few combat mechanics. But despite all that, what really stood out was its raw potential. It had a brutal, unforgiving system that immediately drew players in. There was no fancy features or polished mechanics, just pure VR melee combat that felt like nothing else on the market. The interface was, to say the least, minimalistic. No fancy menus or intricate options. No lag either, which is a pretty big benefit. Just a simple selection screen, yet it was enough. It gave players exactly what they wanted. The ability to slice, stab, and smash in VR with incredible freedom. At the time, there was only one developer, who goes by the name Cosby. It wasn't until the Blade and Sorcery community jumped on board that Blade and Sorcery truly began to evolve. Mods played a huge role. Players began creating their own weapons, enemies, and maps, pushing the limits of what the game could do. And this is where the magic happened, turning a simple melee combat simulator into an ever-expanding sandbox of violence. Sounds pretty fun, right? As Blade and Sorcery continued to grow, the updates started to come in fast and furious. The addition of magic turned the game from a medieval brawler into a full-on fantasy battle experience. Early on, combat was simple. Swing your sword, hit your target, and repeat. But with time, the combat evolved into something much more sophisticated. More weapon types, better AI, and a deeper focus on physics made each encounter feel more dynamic. Fast forward to today, and Blade and Sorcery is a game where you can live out your fantasy battles, from massive multi-weapon skirmishes to elaborate boss fights. The physics, AI, and mechanics are far more polished, and the modding community is still going strong, adding new content with every update, even going as far as to add multiplayer, which was once thought impossible. It's no surprise that the game exploded in popularity. What started as a small project became a beacon for VR enthusiasts. The combination of brutal combat, realistic physics, and a mod-friendly platform made it a fan favorite. It became a staple of VR YouTube channels, streamers, and showcases at VR events. Blade and Sorcery's journey is a testament to the power of the community-driven development. What was once a basic melee combat simulator is now a sprawling sandbox of creativity. The game has evolved through constant updates, mods, and community feedback, becoming a shining example of what VR can achieve. They even managed to add a story. Whether you're a newcomer or a veteran to Blade and Sorcery, there's one thing for sure: Blade and Sorcery is limitless.